What's up guys, welcome back. OCG Metagame Breakdown for half of August 2020. Let's take a look. A couple of tournaments, again, Word of the King and all other sources will be in the video description like always. Thanks to them, right? They make life much easier. Let's take a look. Phantom Rage has been out for like a couple of weekends already. It was released like August 8th in the OCG. So let's take a look how much of an impact the set has and other new cards like, you know, Zoo King Alpha, the new Exceed as well being AA Zeus, I believe the name is. You know, those cards definitely have their impact on the format. Let's take a look. Metagame Breakdown from Road of the King. This is the pie chart. Dogmatica Invoked is pretty much still the top contender, even though it's quickly followed by Orchest. Again, I mean, no, not really too big changes compared to last time. A couple of weeks ago, I did a video about the OCG Metagame Breakdown. Zoodax, on the other hand, that's a new one. As you know, Tribrigade also hit, also hit the OCG, but I mean, we've seen pure lists, we've seen Tribrigade lists as well, Dogmatica lists also, so again, pretty much three options of running Zodiac, so that might be an explanation. Eldritch, but a lot of other decks. Let's zoom in into currently the most popular and more dominating deck. Dogmatica Invoked, the list featured on Word of the King, has some big brain plays. As you see here in the side deck, the particular player here is, I'm not going to butcher it, his name indeed, but he's a former World Championship 2018 you know, like competitor from Japan representative. With this particular list he went 7-1 and he's side decking triple Mystical Space Typhoon. Reason being is Artifact Lancia, and you know, Lancia is a very common card in both may not be much side deck, and it's just generic out answer against something like Cosmic Cyclone, even though obviously Cosmic Cyclone is the better choice compared to Mystical Space Typhoon against, like, you know, Eldritch Spell and Traps for example, but you know, Mystical Space Typhoon is not hit by Artifact Lancia. So that's pretty much it. The thing here now is that, again, this particular build went 7-1, but he is running Maximus. Interesting one, since I think the most common view on Maximus here in the TCG is that it's pretty terrible in the main deck, too dangerous to run. But I mean, the advantage that it pumps out, plus the fact that this particular deck has the ability to put up like a Mega Buff first and then go for Maximus, might make it worth, you know, your Maximus, that is. Let's move on. Orchest, again, no changes, right? Fallen Prince being Girsu. Sadly, we don't have that in the TCG, of course, with the only one of Harp Horror in the OCG. And yeah, the toxic / virus that is going to hit the TCG in the form of the Dark Magician Dragoon or Dragon. The fusion will also, you know, will also be released very soon in the TCG. So that's something for, you know, like Orchest that could easily vomit something like a Cobra on the field. So interesting one. Let's see how that is going to impact our TCG format. That's basically it for Orchest. Let's move on. Zoodax, this is an interesting one. So again, Road of the King also mentions is that more Zoodacs are popping up. A couple of reasons. I mean, this is like an example list, but I have more lists ready featuring Tribrigade Pure as well, and of course the Dogmatica lists as well. Like three options to run. This is pretty much a Pure build. I mean, Pure just gives you more options for hand traps and disruption. Again, like basically half the deck is like hand trap or disruption. But the cool thing with Zoodax now is that, and again that's also mentioned on Road of the King, is that Zoo is able to end with like double negation or double interruption during their first turn with obviously Trident, and second to that is also for us TCG players, upcoming new card like the number F0 Utopic Future Dragon, you know, very easy to be made to overlay like an Utopic or, you know, like an F0, and that basically packs a monster negation as well. And you know, as I mentioned before, pack this deck up with already 2 negations plus potential hand traps and disruption. Then we have like a potential powerhouse, and it needs more testing, but Tribrigade might also be an interesting one, you know, some extenders as well. And but yeah, that asks some main deck spots, so that's probably one of the reasons why people don't really prefer Tribrigade. As for the rest, I mean, we see like The 3 tactical talents, the Forbidden Droplet as well in the main deck. One of the new cards being Zeus, AA Zeus, the rank 12 Exceed that is quite easily to be summoned here, you know, very easily. An Exceed monster needs to battle, and then, you know, you have something like Boar Bow, very easy to be made, attack directly, and during your main phase 2 you can Exceed overlay for your Zeus. And again, as you know, Zeus has the ability to like destroy like all other cards on the field or send them to the grave, I believe the correct name is, or you know, like the correct effect is. So that's quite disgusting. It pretty much reminds me of another Exciter Knight, right? So very strong. Last one here is Eldritch. This particular build went 8-0, but I mean, look at this build. It's not really fun to play against. All of the floodgates, and a card that like caught my attention was the Mistake, but you know, it seems to be like an obvious addition, because again, basically any deck searches. So but that's basically it. Like one of the bigger card techs, I guess, are Artifact Lancia and maybe even Imperial Iron Wall against stuff like, you know, Cosmic Cyclone evenly matched. Prevent your opponent from banishing your stuff. The other Duelists, as I mentioned before, I mean, again, multiple options. This one is also one of the new cards, and that's Zoo King Alpha. It's basically another Pancratops. Again, most decks could easily slap that one in their extra deck, or you know, side deck for a side deck option, but like a beast-oriented deck could definitely pump this card out in the, or you know, put it in the main deck. Basically, Disruption going second, a very powerful card, same as Pancratops, but I mean, the advantage that Zoo King Alpha has, for example, is that it bounces more cards, while on the other hand, you know, Pancratops does destroy, but only hits one card. Okay. But even though it's definitely a card to look out for, since again it's basically another Pancratops, bit stretched maybe. This is pretty much again a pure build. You basically want to have more space for disruption, traps and hand traps. Another list, finally a Tribrigade list, but as you see here, this particular player did end up first place, but he's running like well over 40 cards. So that's, I guess, the price you pay, even though, you know, multiple Maxi, Ice Blossom, Impermanence, you know, the Forbidden Droplets, Call by the Grave, and that's something cool, but it's not really new. It's like the Simorgh Link, and of course the ability to pump out the Wind Barrier statue, basically prevent your opponent from playing the game. It's not really new again. I mean, for example, TCG Dinosaurs are also running that like deck/combo. Degenerate at its finest. The Time Thief engine, quite old. I think pretty much the first time I ended up playing Zoodax again, like last year. Not really sure the correct time, but you know, rank 4 based. Cool stuff with Dogmatica also. And the last Zoo list here, again 40 cards sharp, and it's a Tribrigade list, so that might be an interesting one. Datascape, that's also one of the newer archetypes. It's quite similar to like BA in some way, but I mean, personally I do like it to run at like 50 or 60 cards with Phantom Knights, but it seems that most OCG players don't really like that. You know, keep the deck count low as possible, unless of course they're running like the cross build, as you see here, Glass Cross. Well, that's with PK I mean, but I mean pure Datascape, rank 3, rank 6, level 9 synchro plays, and of course True King of all Calamities access. It's still a disgusting deck. It's quite easy to interrupt, but it's quite resilient as well, and dangerous if you don't know how to play against the deck right. But it's still a very cool deck. Phantom Knights also, I mean, with this, it's not really doing that much in the OCG, but that, you know, gives me, can I say hope, that who knows, with our next TCG ban list and of course Phantom Rage and the new Phantom Knight support, who knows, we might be getting back Rusty Bardish. No way that Konami is going to ban like any cards, maybe restrict Helgi Fibrex, who knows. That's maybe for another video, but bringing back cards from the ban list might be something, and then, you know, Rusty Bardish is definitely up there to come off of the list. Would it be healthy for the game? Who knows? Probably not, but I mean, if Rusty Bardish returns, it will definitely be like one of the first decks, if not the first deck that I'll be testing out, like Phantom Knights with or without like BA or whatever. 60 card variants, that still baffles me that the OCG has access to grass looks greener. And last but not least is also a deck that I have high you know, expectations of for us TCG players, since we don't have Maxi yet. Who knows, in the TCG, but Prankits is of course super weak to Maxi. And as you know, they recently got their new Link one, which is quite absurd, but you know, the deck is quite or kept in check by, for example, Maxi in the OCG. So nonetheless, it's still a very powerful deck. It has that one card combo delicious into, you know, multiple disruptions during your opponent's turn. The deck has the ability to play during your opponent's turn. So this still, you know, makes this deck a potential huge contender when we actually get the Link one. You know, Prankets Meow Meow, I believe the name is in the TCG. So interesting one. Keep this deck in mind. And I'm talking about Prankets. So yeah, cool things. Definitely keep an eye out for a couple of cards. The Zeus, the Zooking Alpha, Prankets as well. But for me, that's it. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.